What's going on, Jeromes? So the offensive line has been a problem for the Minnesota Vikings going back to time memoriam, and now they finally may be getting some solutions together, notably at the tackle position with Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. And we've said before on the show many a time that they're one of the best, if not the best, tackle duos in the National Football League, and thankfully, sometimes the Vikings' frenemies over at PFF, sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they do get it right, the national media jabroni haircuts. So Gordon McGuinness did up his duos of the top 32 offensive tackle rankings, and the Vikings check in at number 2. Now, normally, I go full on homer, just like, they're too low, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, Lane Johnson, respect. Jordan Mailata, respect. So, yeah, with the Eagles, they do have the best tackle duo in the National Football League. But around the outside, Darrisaw and O'Neill, down the stretch they come. I think they are going to be rising up back on the street. Number 3, Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker. Now, what's so funny here is that Penei Sewell is probably a better left tackle than Decker. But Decker's been entrenched. Even when they selected Sewell, they kicked him over to the right side. Makes sense. Ronnie Stanley, Morgan Moses. So Moses coming in from Washington. Stanley getting back, finally fully recovered from that horrific ankle injury from back in the day. Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele. I don't know. I feel like the sun is setting on Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele. I don't know. I don't know, man. Also, Terrence Steele sounds like a gentleman who stars in movies. Bernard Raymond, as well as Braden Smith. This one's a little bit more projecting. I don't think Raymond's there yet. Braden Smith is a stud, though. Jake Matthews, Caleb McGarry. I would put Matthews and McGarry a lot higher than this. I actually might put them 4. They're dudes, man. Garrett Bowles, respect, has turned himself into one of the better left tackles in the game. McGlinchey, big-time free agent signee, so they haven't even played a snap together yet, but they're going to be up there. Colton Miller, Jermaine Elamanior. I don't know. Miller, super solid. Elamanior bounced around the league a little bit, so I don't know. But in terms of tackle duos, I mean, the Vikings being up there, certainly nice to get that respect. And since Gordon is from PFF, just looking at their grades here, last year, Darrisaw 90.4, second at his position. I just noticed that position rank spells pork. It's funny. Brian O'Neill, 82.7, fourth at his position. Now, health has a lot to do with this as well. Darrisaw missed 2 stints with concussions last year. Frankly, they rushed him back from his first concussion to play in the Cowboys game. It is what it is. And then Brian O'Neill getting back from that Achilles, chasing after that pick 6 against the Packers. But hopefully both of them return to full fitness, and they're going to be good to go. And what's great about Darrisaw and Darrisaw and O'Neill is that Brian O'Neill's only 27. Darrisaw turns 24 in June. O'Neill's already inked up, and Darrisaw is going to be eligible for an extension next offseason, very similar to Justin Jefferson this offseason. And, I mean, it makes sense that you have to keep that tackle duo together, especially finding a guy like Christian Darrisaw. Again, big-time respect to Rick Spielman, where, I mean, Spielman ignores the offensive line, but, I mean, he did draft Garrett Bradbury, who's starting to come together finally. He did draft Brian O'Neill in the second round in 2018. He did draft Christian Darrisaw by trading down in 2021 as well. So a little bit of respect goes Spielman's way. He also drafted Ezra, too. But the majority of the pressures last season came from the interior between Ezra, Bradbury, and Ingram. 147 pressures and 18 sacks, and that's why Kirk Cousins had the highest pressures of his career, the most sacks of his career as well, and also injuries and puck luck had something to do with it as well. Also, it's kind of funny. So a lot of parents and relatives of the players watch the channel, and I mean Alexander Madison's dad, shout out, is always in the comments. I love to hear from you, man. And we always got to be careful. Where I was going to make a joke right there because we named our son Ezra, who was just born a couple months ago. And I was going to be like, Ezra, that's a dumb name. Who would name their kid that? Except I know like Ezra Cleveland's mom or like parents or like relatives would be in there. It's like, oh, how dare he? So they wouldn't have got it. But I digress. Doesn't matter. But bottom line is that this Vikings offensive line, again, there was a reason why they didn't add any significant outside free agents. There's a reason why they didn't spend any draft picks on the O-line, because they believe, Chris Cooper and company believe what they have right here, and it starts with the tackle spots. And I'm glad that finally getting a little bit of respect around that league. And again, Darrisaw must be a superstar, and O'Neal must be great too, because they have to overcome the stigma of being a Viking with the national media. That's what happens, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. PFF's Gordon McGinnis says that Darrisaw and O'Neal are the second best tackle duo in the National Football League. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.